Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you, and good morning to the non-Muslims. I am Abu Abdullah, and I'm going to talk about a series of the proofs, evidences that Islam is the only truth. Many people don't know, but inshallah I'll go through this. The first one is the example of the scientific miracle in the field of agronomy. My pronunciation is not the best, but they're spelled as Agronomy. Agronomy. Storing wheat and its spikes. So I'll go through. This is in the noble Qur'an. The Qur'an is the speech of Allah. This is the book of Islam. Islam means submission, surrender unto the will of Allah. Allah is the name of the one and true God, and Allah has many, many names. So I'll just quickly give you a summary of the beliefs of Islam, which is there is none worthy of worship except Allah. Muhammad is the messenger and servant of Allah. We believe in the angels, believe in the books which Allah has revealed. For example, the Qur'an, it is the last and final book. The last and final messenger of Allah is Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessing of Allah be upon him. Also, we believe all the messengers of Allah, including Jesus, his name is Isa, alayhi salam, upon him be peace. Moses, his name is Musa, alayhi salam, and the other messengers and prophets of Allah. We believe in the day of judgment. Now, this is the day when Allah will judge everyone, all of the mankind and the jinn. Now, the jinn they're similar to human beings, that will be judged on day of judgment. They're in a spirit form, but they're also male and female. We believe in the decree of Allah, the good of it and the bad of it. So, let's carry on. This is in Surah Yusuf, verses 46 to 49. This is one example of as a proof, evidence that Islam is the only truth. So a man said, Joseph, which is Prophet Yusuf, alayhi salam, upon him be peace, O man of truth, explain to us the dream about 7 fat cows eaten by 7 that were lean, and 7 green spikes of grain, and others that were dry, that I may return to the people, i.e. the king, and his court. Perhaps they will know about you. So Joseph said, you will plant for 7 years consecutively, and what you harvest leave in its spikes, except a little from which you will eat. Then will come after that 7 difficult years, which will consume what you advance for them, except a little from which you will store. Then will come after that a year in which the people will be given rain, and in which they will press olives and grapes. I'll read the Arabic as well. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. يوسف أيها الصديق أفتنا في 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 إجاف و7 سنبلة خضر وأخرى يابسات لعلي أرجو إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون قال تزرعون 7 سنين دابا فما حصدتم فذروه في سنبله إلا قليلا مما تأكلون ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك صب شداد يقولن ما قدمتم لهن إلا قليلا مما تحسنون ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك عام فيه يغاث الناس وفيه يأسرون. Of course, the Noble Quran is recited. I'm just reading there. I'm not an Arab. My Arabic's not the best, but I hope that's clear and everyone understood, those who know Arabic. So this is the scientific fact here. I'll just go through this. The storing wheat and other grains in their spikes is a basic method for preserving them. Dr. Abdul Majid Balabid and his colleagues at Rabat University in Morocco conducted researches on wheat grains that were left in their spikes for 2 years, and others that were left outside their spikes. primary results showed that the grain stored in their spikes experienced no change and stayed 100% viable despite the fact that conditions of temperature and dampness in the storehouse were not altered. So there you go. So scientists also found that the grains left in their spikes lost a considerable amount of water and became drier than those left outside their spikes. 20.3% of the weight of those left outside their spikes was found to be water. This affects their ability to grow after planting simply because water makes them more vulnerable to mold and diseases. Excuse me. The researchers then compared the growth rates between grains subjected to these two methods of storage. I'll repeat that again. The researchers then compared the growth rates between grains subjected to these two methods of storage. They found that those left in their spikes had a better growth rate. Then they measured their protein and sugar levels. After 1 year of storage, the amounts in grains left outside their spikes decreased by 20%, falling to 32% after 2 years of storage. However, grains stored in their spikes had lost nothing. So I'll explain this more because this may be not as clear so far, but I'll explain this. There are two scientific observations made in these verses. In the verses which I read to you in the Surah Yusuf, in the noble Qur'an, the great Qur'an, the glorious Qur'an, the method of storing grains in their spikes is the best way to preserve them. This was done by Prophet Yusuf, Joseph alayhi salam, under Allah's instruction, under the instruction of the one and true God. It is historically proven that this technique was unknown before, particularly to the ancient Egyptians, who used to remove grains from their spikes for storage. So this is clear proof evidence that Islam is the only truth, that this Quran is the speech of one true God, that this is the only truth as not made by any man at all. Because no one knew about this technique. Only Allah knew. The period which wheat grains are expected to be viable is 15 years. So this is the second point here. The scientific observation. The period which wheat grains are expected to be viable is 15 years. This calculation was based on the fact that the people were commanded to grow grains during 7 years of plenty for consumption during a 7-year period of hardship, followed by additional year 15 in all. And research proves that wheat grains maintain their ability to grow for up to 15 years. Amazing. Look at that. Amazing, huh? Alhamdulillah. All the praise and thanks be to Allah. So let's repeat the verse. I'll show you here. Here it is. There you go. There you go. Oops. Let's go over here. Oops. Anyway, I'll read it for you. So it's Surah Yusuf. 46.9. So sorry about that. It wasn't exactly excellently. I'm just getting used to the camera and stuff. But here we go. A man said, Yusuf, O man of truth, explain to us the dream about 7 fat cows eaten by 7 that were lean, and 7 green spikes of grain, and others that were dry. So this is green spikes, 7 green spikes. That I may return to the people, i.e. the king and his court. Perhaps they will know about you. Yusuf said, you will plant for 7 years consecutively, 7 years in a row, and what you harvest leave in there in a spike, except for a little for which you will eat. There will come after that 7 difficult years, which will consume what you advance for them, except a little from which you will store. Then will come after that year in which the people will be given rain, and in which they will press olives and grapes. So there you go, the 15 there. 7 years when you have plenty of food, then 7 difficult years, that's 14. Then come after that a year in which the people are given rain, and with the pressed olives and grapes. So this is 15 years. Remember this, I was saying, the scientific miracle. Trying to get this on the camera. There you go. So I'll give you the reference as well. So Sorry about that. This auto screen, it just went off. Sorry about that. So getting used to the system. So it's Surah Yusuf in the Noble Quran, verses 46 to 49. So you can read of that as well. And this is in the field of agronomy, which is Agronomy, agronomy. So I'm going to share with you a series of proofs, evidences that Islam is the only truth. Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater than all. Allah is the greatest. Allah is most great. So this will enable you to have, those who are Muslims who are listening to my this video, it will enable you to have stronger faith, stronger iman. And those who are non-Muslims, you are always welcome to revert to Islam. And I encourage you to revert to Islam, because Islam is the only truth. Look at this proof here, that Islam is the only truth. This verse here proves that this is from Allah, because no one knew at the ancient Egyptians' time about this. 7 years about the storing wheat in its spikes. Also mentions about 15 years as well, which I mentioned to you. The period which wheat grains are expected to be viable is 15 years, and it mentions in the Noble Quran 7 years of plenty, 7 years of which are difficult years, and one more year in which people were given rain. So rain by Allah, and which they press olives and grapes. So alhamdulillah, I hope that's made you stronger in belief in Islam. And for the Muslims and non-Muslims, I hope that's made you very, very close to revert to Islam. And if you want to revert to Islam, then you're always welcome, and I encourage you to revert to Islam, because Islam is the only truth and this is the only way to paradise. So inshallah, I will upload the second of a series of proofs, evidence Islam is the only truth, inshallah, very soon. So look out for it, and inshallah look down and subscribe to my channel, and press the like button. We want to try to get thousands of likes, and also thousands of subscribers. So inshallah, take care. It's been a pleasure sharing this knowledge with you, and inshallah you'll be very happy now. Inshallah, be stronger in belief. You'll revert to Islam, inshallah. If not, that can make it closer to you. It's your choice, of course. So take care. Assalamu alaikum.